you know, right when things start to look all right, it all of a sudden goes bad. Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. The Bulls play the Pacers tonight. I want to preview that a little bit in this video, but I want to start out by talking about more Bulls players going into protocol, unfortunately, and then talk about the Alfonso Mckinney signing, as the Bulls have signed Alfonso Mckinney for the rest of the year. But let's start out with the protocol stuff, so I can just get this out of the way. So the Bulls, they had all players were 100% out of COVID protocol. It looked like we were finally going to have a healthy team besides Caruso, Derek Jones Jr. out with injuries, but we weren't dealing with COVID anymore. But unfortunately, 3 players are now in COVID protocol. As you can see, Alfonso Mckinney and Tony Bradley were the first names to come out today that were placed into COVID protocol. As we didn't know before, as I said in my last video, Billy Donovan is in COVID protocol, so Chris Fleming, the assistant coach, is going to be taking over as head coach for the time being. But now it's not just Billy Donovan in COVID protocol. We also have some players. So these 2 guys are obviously going to be unavailable for a while unless they test out of it. So hopefully they test out of it. If not, I hope that they have a speedy recovery and get back to full strength. But, this is unfortunately really bad timing for the Bulls, and I'll explain why once we get to the McKinney signing. But this is not good timing right now for the Bulls to be having this. It's unfortunate because it honestly just seems like with the way the NBA is going, it was just bound to happen. I would, I guess, rather have it happen now than later, but it is just kind of unfortunate timing because, the Bulls were just officially done with all this stuff, but now we're back into this whole thing. The other person to go into health and safety protocols is Lonzo Ball, and he was this news came out after these 2 guys were named the health and safety protocols. But now Lonzo Ball, our starting point guard, is now in protocols as well. And this is also really bad because the Bulls, we don't have Caruso for the time being. Unless something changes tonight, I don't think Caruso's playing. I'd be shocked if he plays tomorrow against the Hawks. So we honestly really just don't have our a point guard at all for until Lonzo comes back or Caruso comes back. And I think this Bulls team can definitely live without this, without Lonzo or really having a point guard for the time being. But we can't lose anybody else. And it's big if we have to keep at least DeRozan healthy. So hopefully he doesn't get injured or gets COVID again. Because this Bulls team, I like this Bulls team a lot because everyone passes. Like, if you look around the board on this team, like, everyone is always getting into the passing game. It's not just the point guard that is the main passer. But so that's the reason I think this Bulls team can withstand this. But obviously, this is not good timing because both our point guards are out right now. So I expect Kobe White to probably start at the point guard position, but I honestly think DeMar DeRozan's going to be the main ball handler. DeRozan's been the main ball handler all season, so I expect him to just be the main ball handler tonight. Obviously, Zach is a secondary ball handler, but, Ayo is back, so don't be shocked if you see Ayo get some point guard minutes. Before he went into protocols, he was actually playing some point guard for this Bulls team, and I think he played it really well, and I'm happy to see that, so I expect him to maybe get some time, and obviously Devon Dotson is another option as now. He's probably going to be with the team for the rest of the season because 2-way contracts, they can be with the teams for the rest of the year. So that's good. But not good stuff, unfortunately, for the Bulls because we just got out of this whole mess. And now it looks like we're going to have 3 players out for probably 10 days or longer. So, unfortunate timing. People were kind of questioning what was going to happen with Ilya, Silva, and Mcclung. I said in my previous video, and it's going to apply to the Bulls now, those guys were signed to 10-day contracts, and they were placed on the inactive list for the time being until their contract runs out, right? But now, because we have 3 players going in COVID protocol, they're probably going to be on the active list now. So having those guys, signing those guys is actually kind of clutch for this Bulls front office because it ended up working out because we kind of all thought, like, they're probably not going to get any minutes, but they might get minutes now. We don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But, I expect them to probably be on the active list from here on out. But, so this is the bad news that is coming out today before the game. But let's talk about the good news. The good news is that Alfonso Mckinney has officially signed with the team for the rest of the season. And a lot of Bulls players, including myself, I said in my previous video, we were actually wanting this because we think McKinney has played well, even though it's just been 3 games, but he's played well. He's fit into the system really well. Billy Donovan clearly likes him. He's a lengthy defender, can play both forward positions, can play on the perimeter. He's a long, athletic defender, so it definitely kind of fit this team as we were looking for more shooting, which he brings, and another forward slash wing player to come in, and he's that. So I think it's a really good move by AK to do this. And in quite a surprise, though, the move to get McKinney onto this team, because we have 15 players, we had to waive somebody, and I said we should waive Matt Thomas because he's not a non-guaranteed deal. But instead, we waived Alize Johnson, and Alize Johnson's a forward slash center who, he played a lot early in the season, but then got taken out of the rotation, and so we decided to waive him instead. It's a bit of a shocker because this is a team that definitely needs size, and we're just giving up more size by doing this move. But Alize Johnson was on a non-guaranteed deal, but as you can see, his deal would have became guaranteed by January 7th, and that's coming up, right? And, I said that in my previous video, which I got this wrong. So I said that Matt Thomas, his deal becomes guaranteed on the 10th of January. It actually becomes guaranteed on the 10th of February. So the Bulls have time to work with Matt Thomas to see if they want to keep him or waive him. I honestly expect this Bulls team to be very active at the deadline. So let's say there is a trade where we get 3 players and we only send back 2. We can't take 3 players, right? So we have to waive somebody. That would be Matt Thomas is who we would waive. So, honestly, this is a smart move by Karnisovas because, instead of giving up this flexibility with Matt Thomas, who's on a non-guaranteed deal until the February 10th, you waive the person whose non-guaranteed deal was about to become guaranteed early. So this is a pretty decent move by Karnisovas. I'm happy that he decided to do this because he's smarter than all of us, right? It is unfortunate to see Alize Johnson go. I thought he had some decent moments with the Bulls, but I'm sure a team is going to pick him up really quickly because the COVID protocol is going across the NBA. But, I think Alfonso Mckinney needed to be on this team, and Karnisovas did that. Good job by him. I'm happy for McKinney. I think he's going to have a pretty big role on this team moving forward unless, some more things change. But obviously, with COVID, you never know. He could have a seriously big role because of COVID. But I said that this is bad timing, the COVID protocol for the Bulls. And here's the reason for the bad timing. Tony Bradley's out. He's your backup center. McKinney's out, and he could play the 3 or 4, right? We currently do not have Derrick Jones Jr., so that's an issue, right? And now we just waived Alize Johnson, who was basically our last backup big man. So it's just bad timing right now in terms of the backup center position. Because remember, Derrick Jones Jr. played to backup center minutes, and Tony Bradley has been the other backup center. Alize Johnson got some minutes, but he's been kind of out of the rotation. But as you can see, we don't really have that many backup big men, and against a team like the Pacers, who we're about to face, that's kind of bad because they run Turner and Sabonis in the same starting lineup, and at least one of them's always on the floor. So this is kind of bad timing for the Bulls because we just waived Alize Johnson, and then Tony Bradley and Derrick Jones Jr. are now currently out. Unfortunate timing, but I think we're going to be able to get through this. Vucevic has to play well, and I'm hoping he does. But the other thing is this. I'm looking at what's been happening. I'm looking at the roster as we continue moving forward throughout this whole COVID mess, and this is basically where the roster stands right now. As you can see with Rob Schaefer kind of saying, these 3 guys are in protocols, and obviously Patrick Williams is out for the season. Or he was getting up shots. It was reported he was getting up shots, so maybe he's going to come back earlier than being out for the rest of the season. But who knows? But Caruso and Derrick Jones Jr. they're going to be out for right now. And hopefully they're not out for too long. So this is where the lineup stands. And, I said earlier in this video, the Ilya Silva signing might really come in clutch here because Ilya Silva can play the power forward / center. We might see him get some minutes tonight. We do not know. But the person I'm really looking at is Tyler Cook. I think Tyler Cook played phenomenal against the Rockets. And we also saw him get some fourth quarter minutes against the Los Angeles Lakers. And I thought that was a fantastic move by Donovan. I mean, he went with Tyler Cook instead of Tony Bradley when Vucevic was off the floor. So don't be surprised if Chris Fleming goes with Tyler Cook as the backup big man. I don't expect Marco to really get some minutes until maybe next season, right? But Tyler Cook, I think his athleticism and his rebounding can definitely be really big for this team. And with Derrick Jones Jr. out, Tony Bradley, he has a big chance right now to play some 4 or 5 minutes. So this is a chance for him, but like I said, it's just really bad timing that we just waived Alize Johnson, and now all these guys go out in the protocol. So it's just really bad timing. And like I said earlier, I expect Kobe to start at PG tonight, and from moving forward with Lonzo out until Caruso gets back. But also, just don't be shocked if Io gets some PG minutes, and then obviously Dotson can definitely run the PG position, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Mcclung will get some run. But because all these guys are injured, our bench is not looking too great right now. Javonte obviously starts at the 4. So we're looking at Io, Troy Brown Jr., and either Ilya Silva or Tyler Cook as our main bench guys. After that, it's probably going to be Dotson. And then we'll see what happens from there on out. It's up to what Chris Fleming decides to do. So bad timing overall for this Bulls team. But at the very least, we have our big 3. LaVine is returning tonight. So that's a good sign. So we have LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic in the lineup. And obviously we saw Javonte. But until these guys get back, it's going to be a really, really weak bench, unfortunately. So Kobe has to step it up. Everyone has to step it up. And I'm hoping that these guys can, because we're missing some key pieces right now. So quickly, just kind of doing a little pregame for this Bulls versus Pacers game. We saw in the previous matchup when the Bulls faced the Pacers that the big men absolutely destroyed us. And, of course, our big men are now out all of a sudden, and we just waived Alize Johnson. So it's just bad timing with that. So we need to make sure we can control the boards tonight. And unfortunately, Lonzo is one of our best rebounders. So that's definitely not good. So it has to be a really, really good effort on the boards tonight. Other thing is that we can't let Miles Turner be like the one that scares us from going into the paint. If we're gonna go into the paint, we have to go with authority. You have to finish strong or don't go at all, right? So, or go up strong, don't go at all. So it's just gonna be tough for this Bulls team. This Pacers team, unfortunately, just gives us a lot of problems because they're just much bigger than us, and we play small. And with Tony Bradley not there, we're gonna have to be even smaller. So, to take advantage of the Pacers' size, we need to get out on transition as much as possible. We need to get fast break points all game, because we cannot let the Pacers slow us down and muck up the game and run a half-court defense on us. We need to run, get easy buckets in transition, and hopefully get a bunch of steals and go out in transition as well. So, just kind of tough, unfortunately, for the Bulls' timing. And for, here on out, who knows if Lonzo is going to be able to come back within 10 days or not. So, for the time being, it looks like Kobe's going to be starting at the PG, so expect DeMar DeRozan to be the main ball handler. And, of course, you just stagger him and LaVine's minutes. Those two guys get to do a lot of ball handling from here on out until Lonzo or Caruso gets back. So that's kind of the preview for this game. I'm hoping for the Bulls to get a win. I will say this is at least the good thing about all this happening. We still have our big 3. That's huge. I know Lonzo is a huge piece. Caruso is obviously a huge piece, and so is Derrick Jones Jr. But at the very least, you have the big 3. And the big 3, we saw them score 88 points in one game. They can carry an offense. It's up to the defense, and that includes those 3 guys, but the entire defense has to show up and play well tonight. It's even harder when guys are going out, because then you're playing with guys you never played with before, but you have to play well on the defensive end, because you're just going to have to trust the big 3 to carry your offense until some guys get back. So, tough news for the Bulls. Some good news for Alfonso Mckinney. I'm happy for Alfonso Mckinney, hometown kid. So I'm really happy he's going to be on the team for the rest of the year. And I think he's going to have he's going to play a big role for us. It's just unfortunate he's also in COVID protocol right when he's signed for the rest of the year. So just poor timing all around for this Bulls team, unfortunately. But Bulls play the Pacers today. They play Atlanta tomorrow. Hopefully, we're getting some wins to keep our second place in the Eastern Conference moving forward. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys probably after Pacers game. Peace.